Welcome to somewhere between beautiful Nice and beautiful Cannes here in the south of France, and I'm getting to drive and look at the all-new Volkswagen Tiguan. Welcome to Nobby on Cars. This version of the Tiguan is about to go on sale in Ireland on Irish roads. What I know so far, there is a huge amount of engine lineups depending on what region you're watching this in. There's petrol, plug-in hybrid and 2-litre diesel. However, in Ireland, we're just getting the PHEV, which will have a range of up to 100 kilometres. You will have to plug that in to get that. And we'll have the diesel option also. Later on in the model, there will be an all-space, but this version is a 5-seater. So if you're considering this as your next family car, you're in the right place. Let's have a little look around at the car today. This version now comes with HD matrix headlights. There's a light bar which is solid across the front. Now it's flashing just because of the phone camera that I'm using here, but take my word for it, that is solid. A little bit of chrome gone on down the front. There's a lot of nice colours and different mixtures, and we have an air curtain for allowing airflow and helping with efficiency going on here. Sadly, we're not getting the new Passat in Ireland. We do have the ID7 and ID7 Tourer available. So there's a lot of elements of the Passat, including the platform, which is MQB Evo, which this car sits on. A lot of the technology, the driving dynamics, believe it or not, have made it into this car from the DNA of the new Passat. Depending on how important wheels are to you, you can spec different sizes. Obviously 19-inch on this version. The last generation Tiguan went up to 20. Remember those Suzuka alloys, which are really gorgeous looking diamond cut. So I'm not sure the bigger wheels that you'll be able to get with the Tiguan. There is an R-line available and elegance in the trims that we've seen so far. And if family holidays are your thing, to France for example, you want to come down here where we're filming today, you get roof rails on the Tiguan so you can attach roof boxes and all the extra space that you need if you like camping. A distinctive rear light, ID light inscripted on the side of the car, a red daytime running light. It's in many ways like a baby Touareg. There are some elements of the current gen Touareg that have also made it into the car. Shouldn't really have to say these things, but just to point out, yes, you get a wiper on the Tiguan, a boot spoiler, and I'm kind of surprised in some ways to see a durable but harsh looking black plastic lower part of the bumper. But in terms of scrapes, they'll tell you it's more durable. A little bit of chrome going on, and the exhaust tips massively tucked away, although they do exist in this car, being a diesel. 520 litre boot. That's not quite Skoda Enyaq big, but it is big, and you can tip the rear seats a little bit forward, still actually sit in them, to give yourself just over 600 litres. If you do go for the plug-in hybrid, you're talking about 476, so that is quite a bit smaller. Down here there is extra space. There's no spare wheel in this car, so that may or may not be filled with a spare wheel. There's also some extra netting and stuff, so if you find a little pouch like this in your Tiguan, that's what that's for. And you can lift this parcel shelf out and drop it down in certain models. You can also retract the seats here, and if you have a tow bar, there's a button for releasing that, just like that. Handy. You do have to manually push that back in, but as you can see, it doesn't take very long. There's probably a kick function for operating the tailgate, but every time I do these things on camera, I look like I'm doing an Irish jig. So no more, thank you. Life in the back of your Tiguan. What's that going to be like? Well, I'm pretty impressed. It's very, very spacious. There's excellent room for your feet, for your knees. You get charging back here, your own USB-C devices. Headroom is massive. Now, this car doesn't have the panoramic roof, worth bearing that in mind, but it's very, very spacious. Good visibility. I mean, the doors are a little bit high for really small kids, but it feels spacious. For kids that don't like being cramped in the back, I think this is an excellent choice. You know, the C-pillar window here, again, just gives you a sense of airiness. Now, the little handle down here can adjust the angle of these seats. Certainly at this, I mean, it is upright, but if you did need that extra space in the boot for a short trip home from Woodies or something, then, you know, that's okay actually, that angle, and then obviously all the way back. Something that's very cool in the Tiguan is the armrest. So it looks like a standard armrest, but then you pull this out, you get cup holders that drop down, but there's also a little groove here that will hold a tablet. So both rear passengers, if you've just got two kids, can be watching something while this armrest lays low. Now, there's a bit of a rubber strip to maybe stop it sliding. I don't know if it will properly stay still. Worth trying out. Overall though, very impressed back here. There's also pockets for devices on the back of your seats and a traditional map pocket where they used to be. Remember those things? One of the vast changes in the Tiguan is up here. I mean, look at it. 15-inch screen, high gloss Tiguan with ambient lighting, just kind of a plate in front of your passenger. This is a higher spec car, but you get this different coloured leatherette. The glove box is a great size. There's now 2 wireless charging pads. They'll cool your device. There's a shelf here if you're not using them. You can't fully close it over, but at least there's good storage options. Same with the armrest. These dividers can lift out and you can slide them back down depending on space. Same story for your drinks holder. You can pull this out, give yourself more space, or clean that if you need to be. There's a jog wheel that acts as volume at first look, but then there's different settings in it that you can turn and twist, and you can put in the ambient driving modes, you can put in the mood for the car, all operate from here. The engine stop start is now just a flush button here. Headlights, a lot of you asked me in the Skoda Kodiaq video I did, and you can watch that up here. But if you tap these, they're the same as you've seen in Volkswagens for the last few years. So headlights down there. What has changed is the gear selector. That's now here where you would have found an indicator or a wiper. Again, same from the Skoda Superb and Kodiaq. Wipers are over this side, and there's other light options. So you're not reaching down here. You got this touch here. The physical buttons are back, baby, down here. I'm not sure if they ever fully left in the Tiguan, but they're here. The slider illuminates. You can double tap for the seat heating. I love the way Volkswagen are telling us, the lights are back, the buttons are back. They're very excited about it. It's their way of saying, yeah, maybe we got it wrong. A lot of safety stuff in this car. Many different assist options, like you could be swiping forever. There is a speed warning on it. You can turn off the beep and it'll still give you the display. Some cars actually just, if you turn that off, everything's gone, which is not the best. It will park itself, whether you're in or out of the car. The Germans call it taking the dog for a walk. Park assist, trailer assist if you've got a trailer option. It's good quality graphics. The nav is really good. The slider down the bottom always has the things you'd want for climate and those kind of things. So they are on a screen, but they're always within easy reach. So that's excellent. It's like they've taken all the feedback on board and said, okay, let's just give the public what they want. Many different options for your view for the driver. Instruments, consumption and maps all displayed there. Head-up display. Support on the back of the seats on the lower part for the back of your thighs. These are comfortable as well. They're firm, but they're these ergo VW seats. Armrest slides. I mean, it is a very nice place to sit behind the wheel of, and it's a step up to what you may have seen. Certainly on ID3 and ID4 and ID5, this is a nicer place to sit. And it's Volkswagen's way of saying, are we sorry? I don't know, but it's really good up here. I am sold. The door bins are big and they're carpeted to stop things rattling around. You get a sunglasses holder, and that's softened with some rubber. I think most people will sit behind this and be very impressed with the materials used inside the new Tiguan. If you've driven a 2-litre Volkswagen in the past, this will feel like very familiar territory to you, which is a good thing. They say the engines are revised. Yes, it's a DSG gearbox, depending on which version you get, but in Ireland, fairly sure that's just going to be the case. Certainly with petrol, the PHEV is going to be automatic. And that's another thing that you need to build into the fact that, yes, it is more expensive, to be fair. You're getting a fairly high-spec car if you're getting into the PHEV. That will have an 11 kilowatt charger, a standard, and will also have 50 kilowatt DC charging. So you'll be able to plug that into a fast charger. You might get some disapproving looks from full EV owners because you're hogging one of their precious spots, but your money is as good as anybody's, to be fair. It's a little bit clattery under load and pulling away from lights and things like that. Once you're on the move, it's very, very quiet. You know, there's not a huge amount of noise from the outside world. I've driven this on motorways today and these very, very twisty, hairpinny roads. Consumption, again, a lot of uphill driving, 6.5 litres per 100 kilometres. On kind of flatter motorway conditions, you're going to get that down to 5 all day long, perhaps even bettering 5. It just depends how heavy your foot is. You can get dynamic chassis control on the car as an optional extra. Again, unless you do huge miles or you really love your driving, I'm not sure this kind of car is really something that needs it. Steering is light, relatively decent feedback. No torque steer worth talking about. There's the kind of harder acceleration noises that I'm talking about. On these 19-inch alloys, it's pretty good over bumps and imperfections in the road. The seating position is excellent. I know I'm being very positive about the Tiguan all around, but I really think they've done a remarkable job at it. There are times when you brake late into a corner, you feel the weight of the car just trying to manage it all, and it does it most of the time reasonably well. The brakes are good. It's a good, comfortable cruiser. I think the whole family will be happy, and certainly for my situation, family, 2 kids, dog, the bikes. My biggest concern would be their mucky shoes after football and rugby training ruining the back of your lovely Tiguan. But you can always chuck them in a bag in the boot or whatever. As a family car, this Tiguan now is really setting the bar for a lot of the competition. Sure, the new Kodiaq absolutely is up there. Very similar car in many ways. It's just going to come down to a personal preference. There is a new Opel Grandland coming. It's up to other brands now to perhaps model their family-sized compact SUV on the Tiguan. I think there's enough in this now to really sort of just look on from the opposition and go, okay, that's pretty good. And I think as a family car, to get your family around, this will do a brilliant job. Time for my summary. One of the benefits of driving an EV, of course, is that you can preheat the car, and you'll be able to do that in the PHEV version of the Tiguan. But my test car today, despite being a diesel, has a little auxiliary heater on the fob, which is very handy. The car will have lots of tech like ChatGPT. You can have conversations with the car. It will do a quiz for your kids in the back, in theory, but you might be better off just using the iPad holder as I've described. There is the price for Ireland. That's from pricing of the PHEV will be announced imminently. I'm sure that's going to be 5 grand-ish extra perhaps. Volkswagen reckon they'll sell a lot of diesels in Ireland in the Tiguan, which is very, very interesting, and perhaps one of the reasons why they're not doing the standard 1.5 TSI petrol engine. So again, it's PHEV petrol and diesel options. I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed driving it. It's got no less or more body roll than probably the previous version, but it does handle pretty well. It looks good. The main thing is they have designed this from the ground up for families. You can't escape that, and you just see the touches throughout the car where they've thought of how can we make this an easy car for families to live with, and they've done a super job there. Yes, it's a little bit on the expensive side. Yes, you can buy an ID4 now for less than this car, but some people don't want one. Some people don't want an electric. They want to get a diesel, and if that's you, the Tiguan is worth a look. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.